Welcome to part 3 of the 2023 All-America Selection winners. And these are all vegetables. And the first one is a tomato called zinsek. And it's an early maturing, high-yielding Roma type tomato. And it's a regional winner in that it's for the Midwestern area, specifically for the Great Lakes and the Heartland. The Great Lakes are all the states that are around the Great Lakes, of course, and the Heartland are considered North and South Dakota, Minnesota, Nebraska, Kansas, and Missouri. Now, this tomato is perfect for canning and freezing. It grows on an indeterminate plant, and it will reach a height up to 72 inches and a spread of 24 to 36 inches. It's disease resistant. You'll have fewer issues with various spot diseases and blossom end rot. It also has good virus disease resistance. It should be grown in cages because of its height, but there is no need for pruning. The fruit size is 4 to 5 inches, and the fruit weight is about 3 to 8 ounces each. And it's said to have a really good Roma flavor. Now, you can expect a yield of about 30 to 50 fruits on this plant, and if you were sowing them as seed in the garden, which we wouldn't recommend in northern areas, it would take between 105 to 110 days for you to get a harvest. Transplanting, in other words, if you grow transplants or purchase them, it will reduce the days to harvest to about 70 to 80. I can't tell you where to buy them at this point because the seed source is not listed on the website at the time this video was made. It just simply says available soon. Next, we have a jalapeno pepper, which is a national winner called San Joaquin. And what's interesting about this plant is that it sets most of its fruit in a short window, and it can produce up to 54-inch fruits per plant, and they're ready approximately at the same time. Of course, they're perfect for canning and pickling, and they hold their firmness well due to their thicker walls. But if you were to use calcium chloride when you're making them, it'll give you extra firmness. They also were given good flavor, and they have a hint of heat in that they are between 2,500 and 6,000 Scoville units, which is not a really hot pepper. How hot it gets depends on the weather. For instance, if it's warmer and drier, you tend to get a hotter pepper. If you leave them on the plant a little bit longer, when they ripen completely, they'll turn red, or you can harvest them while they're red and green, or green, whichever you require. They don't require staking, but I prefer to grow my jalapenos in a tomato cage. And this plant is a bushy plant. It will get about 30 inches high and about 30 inches wide. So it's a nice little plant. It can be grown in a container, but they recommend at least a 5-gallon container. And you can overwinter this pepper plant inside and then bring it back out the following year. And you can do this year after year till you have a small tree. The days to harvest, if you grow this from transplant, which I highly recommend in Michigan, and in this area, it would be 60 days. It's also disease tolerant to tobacco mosaic and potato virus. The last one is called Jade Sweet. It's a kabocha squash, and this is a winter squash, and it has a deep orange flesh. The flesh is dry, very high sweetness, and very flavorful. And the plant height is, the plant itself is kind of large in that it gets 2 feet high, and each plant can spread 6 to 8 feet, so it will take up some space in your garden. The fruit size is about 4 to 5 inches, and the weight will be 1 to 2 pounds. Again, if you sow this from seed, you're going to need about 100 days before harvest, and if you start them as transplants, you drop that down to 85 days. They did supply a place where you can buy this seed, and you can get it from Johnny's Seeds, and there'll be a link in the description. So these are the 3 winners and the last winners for 2023. And I hope you try them out and let me know what you thought. This is Gary. Have a nice gardening season.